Do It or Ditch It time. This is where we take a look at some of the best of Walt Disney World or Disneyland. Today it is all about Walt Disney World, and more specifically it's about Spaceship Earth at Epcot and whether or not it's worth your Disney World vacation time. My friends, this classic attraction is something that is indeed that golf ball that you see at Epcot, so sort of that icon of the park that everybody sees on the way in. Yes, there is a ride in it, if you didn't know, and that is called Spaceship Earth, and it is something that has been around since the dawning day of Epcot, and certainly is one of those attractions that people have come to know as sort of the hallmark of the park, right? It's right there when you walk in. It's one of the first things people tend to go on. We asked you what you thought when it came to Spaceship Earth at Epcot and whether or not it was worth your vacation time. Here's what you said in our official poll. You said 85% worth, it's a must do. 15% of you said not really when it's worth your vacation time or not. So 85% of you overwhelmingly saying that this one attraction at Epcot is absolutely worth your vacation time, certainly something that you would go on. Katrina, it is a ride that is synonymous with Epcot. It is a ride that, again, you walk right past on the way in and on the way out, unless you're using International Gateway and going out the backside of World Showcase. But this ride is one of those that kind of beckons people because everybody's interested in that big golf ball. Everybody's interested in, like, what's in that thing, and I want to go see it, and I want to get on that ride. Is this a must-do for you on your trips?
It's a must-do.
A must.
A must. It's like living with the land, right? It's just so much learning is involved, but it's always really fun. And it is like living with the land, too, because there's, like, peak times for people to come in, because, again, you said it's, like, the first ride when you walk into the park. And so a lot of people, I mean, they in the beginning, they run to, like, Frozen and stuff and Test Track, but for this, I feel like sometimes there are heavy wait times during like the peak hours.
Yeah.
And so if Fast Pass ever comes back, I would say get a Fast Pass for it if you can. But I wouldn't wait in line for it for a very long time because it'll always die down throughout the day. So just keep checking the app. But it goes fast when there's no Fast Pass now because it's just to keep, like, it's a Omnimover, right? That's what it's called. Mm-hmm. So it just like keeps going all the time. But I mean, when you go in and then you just like sit down and you start doing your, where you're from and that kind of stuff and what you like when you're, at the end when you're like going back down. But anyway, so it's really fun because then you get your picture taken and then it shows up at the end of the ride and you always do something silly and
You're
stupid.
In a simulation. Yeah.
It's really fun. And then, I mean, come on, Dame Judi Dench. I mean, that is like the most relaxing voice you can hear besides Julie Andrews.
That's a good point.
And Maggie Smith.
Queen narrator.
But she is, I love her. And so when you go in, when I first did it, I was kind of like, this is a lot. Like, this is just weird. But then I like learned to love it. It's kind of like that weird thing. Like he describes it. And I'm like, this sounds like a really weird ride. I don't know. Okay, let's just do it, And I loved it. And I was
then
like,
it grows on you.
Judi Dench is in it. Oh my God. And so I just love it. And then you get to see like all the, you learn about papyrus. You learn about the Phoenicians.
Communication.
You learn about all those fun things. And so it's just, and it's really fun. And you get to go backwards. You go to space and you come back down. It's like a G-rated Galaxy, what is it? Galaxy Rewind or something like that. It's like PG because like you don't go fast and you just slowly go down.
A more mild
From
version,
space.
yeah. Right, yeah. Okay. I guess that's a good comparison. So must do for you. How long would you say it's worth waiting for? So if you don't have a Fast Pass, don't wait longer than what?
I don't know. I would say like 20 minutes. Like sometimes that line gets just wrecked. Like at the beginning of the day, at the end of the day. Because again, like you said, it's your way out, you're like, hey, why don't we just do this ride? But in the middle of the day, no one wants to trek all the way back to the beginning.
Yeah.
And while they're in World Showcase, because I mean, sometimes it's a lengthy walk. So I would say just keep checking it because sometimes it's just like walk on and we'll do it twice in a row.
It is a big park, yeah. So certainly if you're in the back of the park, that is a long distance to go. Let's jump out to Walt Disney World now, where our Florida reporter Garrett Hassel standing by at Epcot, and I do believe in front of Spaceship Earth. Buddy, when it comes to it, is this a do it or a ditch it for you?
Oh, this is an absolute must. There's no question about it. The first time I went on this attraction, I was blown away by it because, one, the audio animatronics are, I think, pretty top notch on this one. The Judi Dench just doing the narration. At least if you select the English version. If you select the French version, it is not Judi Dench. However, she's a classy lady. She can probably do all the languages.
She's a dame.
She was a dame.
Yeah, she is quite a woman indeed. But I love the story that they tell, and I graduated with a communication major, and so the attraction's all about communication, how we grow as people coming together, how we talk, how we transmit information, and to me it's like poetry, and all the different scenes in there, and then you smell Rome burning, and you're just like, man, that really sucks. And then you're like, oh, what? Spoiler alert! There's still books around. Mine blown, baby. Judi Dench was like, oh, close the first backup system. Boom, baby. It's like mic drop after mic drop after mic drop, and then you see this Afro girl as a scientist, and then you then go into the Matrix, and then you're in Spaceship Earth looking up at Earth. There's just so much going on with it. Yeah, this ride is an absolute must-do. To go back to the original question, so folks, if you have not, go aboard it, because I've heard so many people be like, "Where does the attraction actually go?" Because you don't go in that thing. Yes, you do. And Judi Dench takes you there, holding you by the hand and by the ears.
Very good. And thank you for your keen insight in front of Spaceship Earth. Tyler Crouch.
Dramatic.
Yes. You got to make sure it's still there, Garrett. But Tyler Crouch, what do you think when it comes to this attraction and all of the goodies that it has within that golf ball? Lots of things to see, lots of things to experience. And I think one thing I love most about it, there's so many audio animatronics in this ride. That to me is what Disney does better than anybody. And so to see all of these humanoid robots running around inside of an attraction really does spell, I think, something captivating, something very interesting, especially when they tell a different story in each segment.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, when you really kind of piece it all together, it is a little bit of a genius ride, to be real, because it's all built in this sphere, right? Like, which is kind of crazy by itself. But then the fact that you go through kind of so many little winding passages and stuff, and I feel like in most rides you'd be like, oh, this feels a little claustrophobic or something. But the way they have mapped it all out and figured it out, and it's just it feels great. Like, I don't know what else to say.
Feels great.
Like, it feels great because, again, you would think because it was there's so many small areas, it would maybe be a problem, but they figure out a way, in combination with the darkness and their lighting and things like that, that they've made it feel very spacious, actually. You see what I did? That's Spaceship Earth. Spacious.
You're really clever sometimes.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think it's a 100% to do it. To answer your question about like how long I would wait, I would say maybe like 10 minutes, because as Katrina alluded to,
10
you
minutes.
Yeah,
Really?
I think 10 minutes. And the reason is because if you go there, like the beginning of the day, avoid it. Like, wait for a long time.
Good strategy.
Wait until later, maybe like late afternoon, something like that. And it'll be like a 5-minute, 0-minute wait, like literally like walk on. So that's definitely the time to do it. And the other great thing about it too is I feel like I've been saying this about like every ride that we've done Do It or Ditch It for, but it really is this like palate cleanser ride again. I say it like all the time, where and I think it might be one of the only attractions that I've ever actually fallen asleep in, which sounds like a bad thing.
Oh,
sounds like a bad thing, but it's just so peaceful.
It is. I agree.
And especially when they start there's the grand kind of reveal of seeing all of space, and then seeing our love Spaceship Earth off in the distance, and it just looks epic. And then they turn you around and you go down the massive hill, and it's just kind of like, now I'm leaning back. Sorry, I can't get too far away from the mic. leaning back, and I'm just falling asleep and enjoying myself.
Stars around me.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's
Air
super
conditioning.
hot outside. Yeah, and there's air conditioning. It's like, yes. You pop your back because you're like
All the force.
All the rides and
Yeah.
stuff. Oh, it's always fun.
It is fun, and it's also fun at the end too to put in your kind of your different, like, what's your idea of the future? Like, what do you enjoy? Do you enjoy work? Do you enjoy fun? Like, different things like that. And it takes your picture from the very beginning and puts it on these goofy little puppet bodies and cartoon puppet bodies, and it's always fun to just like try and see how many different combinations of those stories you can put together. So it's a good time. We always laugh. Sometimes the camera messes it up a little bit, and like your eyeballs are missing or something, and you're like, oh God,
I have no
I'm
soul.
a freakish monster. But
I've been that demon before too.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
So it I think just all around it, and it's classic Epcot. It's one of the few things left that's just like classic Epcot. So if you really are a Disney fan, you owe it to yourself to go experience it. And like I said, get there in the late afternoon, and you'll get right on Golden. Yeah.
Golden. No, great strategy. Very true. Yeah, it's certainly an attraction that has a lot of movement in terms of, like, it never stops. You know, it is an omni mover, as Katrina alluded to in the very beginning. And so typically, even the longer waits, I mean, the line does move fairly quick. So it's not like you're going to see a whole lot of, stop, start, stop, start. And the people just continuously load in this environment unless, there's a disability and then they need to stop it completely. But most of the time, this thing just keeps going. So at any rate, I would say it's absolutely a do it. It's absolutely one of those attractions that I would say 20 minutes seems to be at least reasonable for me. I wouldn't wait beyond that. But yes, there are those certain sweet points throughout the day where there's nobody out there. There's nobody going into that ride. And so I typically, around like 1 p.m. or so, that's my time. Like, I'll go
everybody's
in.
eating at like World Showcase.
Yeah.
Everybody's just like munching around. You're like, you know what? No, I'm going to go and just chill out and take a nap on Spaceship Earth. Listen
Crack
to
my
Judi
back.
Dench. Yeah, and crack my back. Yeah.
That's right.
Sounds like it's a great combo.
Oh my God.
And it has so many great lines too. Just
Like a grand and miraculous. Yeah.
Yeah, and do you know your
Thank the
ABCs and junk?
Phoenicians.
And then thank the Phoenicians.
That's right,
I got a
yeah.
hat that says "Thank the Phoenicians." Thank to this one. So
You're welcome.
Hell of a hat.
It is a great hat. It is
Like, if you can read
fantastic.
this, and the back says "Thank the Phoenicians."
Oh, it's even in one of our commercials. We love that comment so much. We love that line. Well, my friends, you let us know in our comment section, are you somebody that has to do this attraction when you go to Epcot? Is Spaceship Earth a do it or a ditch it? Did we miss something entirely? Are there things we're not thinking about in this review? We'd love to hear from you. So be sure to leave it in the comments section. As always, looking forward to your perspective.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome.